Did you log into the beta?
I did for like 10 minutes, 20 minutes maybe.
Me too.
I logged in, made a character so that I could make a death knight. Immediately got kicked and the servers are down.
3, 2, 1.
Prepare for battle, we're diving into a world unknown where legends begin. Jim, Christine, and Brian guiding the way. In Azeroth we'll conquer, there's no time to delay. Server restarted, we're ready to play. Join us now as we fight day after day. From dungeons to raids, we'll conquer it all. In the world of Warcraft, we'll never fall. Server restarted,
Welcome back to another episode of Server Restart In. It's a weekly World of Warcraft podcast hosted by three opinionated players who like to get together to discuss their thoughts about the current state of the game. My name is Jim. I'm joined by Kristen
Hello.
and Brian.
It's Merlot.
And the beta's out.
You sound so excited, by the way. Like you, this is
I'm tired.
gonna be a low energy podcast today.
It's been a long day and I'm tired.
It's been a long day. Yes.
And I haven't had a chance to get into the beta. I tried getting in. and it-
The boar within? Is that what you're
yeah,
talking about, Jim?
sure.
The-
Whatever.
The boar with
Yeah.
War within.
Okay.
Jim
We all have
has-
inside of us two
I was
boars.
just gonna say Jim's fighting the war within right now. The war within himself to go to sleep.
It's been a long week already.
Yeah. Oh no, you're gonna make me yawn.
You started it. Don't even blame that shit on me.
Oh man, I'm tired.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't get in. Like, I tried making characters, and it wouldn't let you make a Death Knight because you had to have a level
Jim,
10.
why didn't you just go ahead and pre-order the biggest package?
I did, and that's why I was in
Oh,
the-
you did, and you can't get in? What?
Fucker.
No, okay. Listen. I'm trying to explain my trials and tribulations, and you're just sitting over there laughing at me, giving me all kinds of shit.
Okay.
As soon as I saw that the character screen was bugged the fuck out,
Yeah.
I'm like, well, maybe I'll wait a few months.
I said the same thing. I tried to get in. Jim said, "Oh, beta's up," and I tried to get in, and this was probably maybe at like 5 o'clock or something like that, and it was all screwed up. And I'm like, "Yep, not gonna do that now." I went and I think I laid down and read or something like that. I don't remember what I did.
No, I was super excited. The character screen, it's changed. I forgot that it was changing, and I saw it, and then like,
Yeah,
You mean the
I don't
character
know. I got
select
this-
screen?
Yeah,
Like the
the
warband,
camp-
the
Yeah,
warband
the
screen.
yeah.
word in, yeah,
right, yeah.
yeah. Which I
But I
like.
got an overwhelming sense of like something new, and I'm like, ooh,
I liked it.
I don't want this bad experience to ruin it for me, so I'm gonna wait.
I made a druid because of course I did. Because you could only do it on that one specific server. All the other ones start at level 1, but that one specific one starts at like level 80. And you can go through and do all of your talents and stuff. And I like that how they said that don't worry about picking the wrong talent because you'll learn all of them by the time you're 80. And I
Yeah.
was like, that's really cool. I like that.
Well, the hero talents, yeah.
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 So that's nice. So it's like, and it was 10 points. So I'm going to guess you get one of those points every level, right?
Yeah, I
Makes
think
sense.
that's the case.
And I was like, well, that's cool because I am all for, now I hope they let you pick which specific one you want. So you don't have to be in the same branch. Like, cause they had it had the main talent and then they have the 3 branches and it goes down into the one, right? So there's one on the top, one on the bottom, that one culminating talent. So I hope you don't have to like select one branch to go down to get down into that one, and you can just select, like, say you chose one from the first row and then you wanted from the second row you wanted the second one from the next row over.
I think you can probably advance the tree any way you want as long as you've got a connecting node.
That's
Please.
what the problem is that they only connect going down.
Right.
So you can only pick one path. And that's what I'm saying. I hope that they allow you to mix and match them. Because they don't connect all. They only connect the 3 paths going down. So it's like you'd have to pick all from that one row going vertically.
I mean, as you level?
No, I imagine that
At the end, you have them all.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, at the end, you have them all. So I don't know what the problem is. Because you have...
You said as long as they're all connecting, like there's a connecting
What
node.
I mean is, as you're leveling, you can pick them as long as you have one that's previous to it, just like the other talent trees.
That's my point. Is that if you're looking at the talents and you look at them, they're lined like they have connecting nodes going down to that final one. The ones that go across aren't connecting.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to pick one lane to stay in, is what I'm saying. And I don't want that. I don't want to have to do that. I want to be able to pick the different ones. It's a hero talent. You should be able to pick the different ones that you want. So say you want one from the first lane, and then in the second row, you want the second one from the second lane. You don't want the first one from the first lane, or you don't want to stay in the first lane.
I'm pretty sure that they build on each other, so it wouldn't make
They
sense.
They don't. Spoiler alert, I looked at them last night. They don't. So, you know. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what the, you know.
It probably isn't going to take that long to level, so it's not going to be an issue.
That's,
Right?
no, that has nothing to do with leveling. That's when you get them all.
No,
We'll talk
you'll
about
be
it
able
when
to,
you're in
you'll
the
be
game.
able to fill out every single one of them. The first one you'll have at 70, right?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
By the time you hit level
yeah,
80,
no,
you have
never
enough
mind.
points for
I'm
each node.
thinking I'm thinking you're gonna have to pick like talents. You're gonna have to pick one from each of
No,
them. You'll
no.
learn them all, but you're gonna have to pick one from each of the things. But you'll
you-
learn all of them.
You'll
Okay,
have
I
enough
see what you're
points
saying.
because there's...
Okay, never mind. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I did not understand. I'm gonna blame it on
Yeah, you're just used to
Me.
the new talent trees.
I'm just used to
Oh,
having
okay.
to make difficult choices, and I'm really glad that they nerfed Flourish so bad because that totally removes a difficult choice for me.
Yeah. The only choice you have to make in those trees are the choice nodes,
Yes.
where you can pick one or the other.
Yes.
But you'll have them all because there's 10 talent points. You get the first one. There's 11 talents, but you'll get that one at 70. It's automatic.
Yeah.
And then 10 more levels, and you just put a point. You just pick one. 'Cause
Yeah,
It's not
was
like I don't
thinking you
think you
had to
can put.
pick,
You can't
but
put.
it's-
I don't think you can put multiple points in them. It's just you
No, I
have it.
know.
Yeah.
No, I
So-
know that. I was thinking you would have to pick one from each row or something like that. And I'm glad that that's not the way that it is.
The only way it'll be like that is as you're leveling,
Right.
right?
Because
you know,
you have to. Like,
just because of the way they design, you know. And
well, you wouldn't pick. It's just you just get it. Right? I don't think you can pick. It's probably
no, it's just like a talent point.
oh, you just pick which one you want to put it in.
Yeah, you activate. I would assume that that's the case, just like any talent thing. It's just
Yes, well-
it's not a tree with dead branches, essentially.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like you'll be able to get them all.
Yeah.
Are they all passive? Every
No.
No.
Okay, some of them are.
Yeah.
Um,
Quite a bit
or
of
some-
mine were.
Some of them modify existing
Yes.
spells, like the one I'm looking at for Deathbringer, the Reaper's Mark. Is I guess it's an ability. So like that one is an ability, right? That's the first thing on it is an ability. So if you look at the trees, if they're square, they're an ability. If they're circle, they're passives. That's the node design for that stuff. So like.
Oh, interesting.
And I think the choice nodes are all passive.
They're like hexagon.
Yeah, but I think that they're passive. So it's
Yeah,
like,
well, the paladin ones are look like they are.
yeah, it's like the one Death Knight tree. The first one's an ability, so it has an active ability, but that's like everything in it. But then like Rider of the Apocalypse, they're all passive. So I mean, that's, you know, so I think it just depends on the flavor of it. So I don't know. It'll be nice to get it in there and play around with some of the stuff and see how it kind of synergizes with certain things, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually, maybe one day. I got done doing everything I needed to do today. I got done working. I cut the grass, cooked a bunch of food for the week. You know, I was grilling chicken and burgers and all that stuff, frying bacon. Got all done, took a shower, got up here, sat down, logged in. Okay, well, I may make a character on the one server that starts at 80. Cool, it unlocked Death Knights because now I got a character that's level 10. Cool. So I logged out, game crashes, kicked me out, and now the beta servers weren't available. I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? It's like, so I have nothing to talk about. No firsthand knowledge or experiences about the beta other than, yeah. So I did some digging around for some stuff. I found probably some of the most disheartening news.
What's that?
Uh-oh.
It hits very close to home for me. And apparently they've updated the Earthen and stuff like that, and now they can't be Death Knights.
What?
Makes sense though, doesn't it? Like,
Look,
unless there's some different lore about these Earthen that are different,
it makes sense how.
like, because they didn't get the curse of flesh, right?
okay,
so they were
what does flesh have to do with it? Can they die?
Can they?
Can
I
they?
Do they
mean,
die the same way?
If I play an Earthen,
I
I can
thought that was the whole
guarantee they can die.
The whole, aside from the game itself, I thought the whole point of Curse of Flesh was that you can die. That's the curse of it. Aren't Earthen are like born of whatever garbage earth, whatever it is, right?
I don't know. I don't know enough about it. And
There's some lore inside Lich King in that one Howling Fjord area that talks about Earthen and where they come from, I thought. But given that, like, you'd have to die to be risen from the dead to become a Death Knight, right? Like,
I don't know. I don't know if
I did bring this up to my son because he was talking about this too. And he mentioned the Earthen that are in. Are those Earthen though? The ones that are in Northrend, Storm Peaks? They're building those bigger. Those aren't Earthen, are they?
they are they're close to the ones in like Ulduar and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't think they're actual. Maybe they are. Shit, I really don't know. I don't know. Lore-wise, I guess I thought it made sense, but then again, we have squirt guns in the game, so what the fuck does it actually matter?
Oh
in the
yeah,
first
I have to
place?
get my squirt gun.
I mean, the thing is that
Maybe that's what I'll do.
if they can die, which we'll find out because I have a feeling we'll be fighting them and killing them.
Well, you could, yeah. I mean, you could be one, so obviously you can die, but die the same way. I mean, it would be interesting if they died differently, if that's the case. But I don't know. Maybe
They
there's a
talk
different reason.
they talk about how like there's no more Lich King, right? And all that stuff. Well, if there's no more Lich King, and they're like, well, they can't be made, be risen or subjugated and all that stuff, whatever, because there's no Lich King. It's like, then why hasn't every fucking Death Knight died? You know what I mean? The Helm of Dominance was broken. That just controlled them. That didn't raise them. The necromantic powers still exist. As a Death Lord,
Well, how do you get your modern allied races, Death Knights? They're different, aren't they? They start differently, don't they?
they do start differently. They start in Bolvars because they were raised by... He sent everybody out to raise Death Knights. So, as a Death Lord from Legion and all that stuff, right? It's like you went and raised the riders you went and raised Nazgrim, you went and raised Whitemane, Trollbane, and what's the other one? There's 4. Oh, Thorician or whatever. I think he became like the 4th one or whatever because they wouldn't let us have fucking Bolvar or whatever. They wouldn't give us the Paladin. We tried, but Blizzard said no. Because I think originally that we were supposed to get him. Which would have been so cool. Mograine.
What's his name?
Bolvar, 4 dragon.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
No, that was the Lich King. No, Tyrion.
Tyrion.
Ford.
That's it. Yeah.
Tyrion's brother.
You mixed them
Tyrion.
up.
Or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. I'm tired.
Whatever.
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Um.
All right. Bye.
Yeah. So get out of here. Stop it. Yeah. So I mean, I exist. I should be able to make new Death Knights whenever I want. Plain and simple. So there is an out for it, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see what the lore is on them and all that stuff. It just kind of made me sad because now that means that because it's one race for both factions. You know what I mean? It's a shared race, kind of like pandas. So I would have had to make 2 because I would need an alliance one and a horde one. And it sucks because in BlizzCon they said they were going to be Death Knights.
They made it a
Really?
shared race like pandas. I thought they said that they weren't going to do that anymore.
Well, they're allied race, so it's not the same
Oh, I guess, yeah.
as a normal race. They're not it's not like a new race
I
they
guess
added.
because think about they did that with evokers. With
Well,
the Dracthyrs. They made a race that you could be either or.
Yeah.
And they said they weren't going to do that anymore, but I guess they changed their minds.
I mean, if it makes sense, it makes sense. But now you got to write it into the story why they would choose a specific faction. But allied races are easy because they're not like main races and stuff like that. It just sucks. Like they walked it back. Like it would have been Death Knights, and that's like basically like the things is basically not Demon Hunter, Druid, or Evoker for Earthen. And now they kind of walked back that stuff. And maybe they'll put it back in. I don't know. It'd be kind of cool. It just makes me sad. It makes me want to cry.
Oh well.
But apparently, I did see something that's kind of good.
What?
So apparently, there's no loot lockout in the Mists of Pandaria LFRs for Dragonflight, so you can farm cosmetics and pets during remix.
Really?
So yeah, so the bosses don't drop gear in the raids, right? They have a chance to drop. They have a chance to drop gear that's like transmog stuff, but it's not like you're gonna get better gear than what you have.
Yes. They have a chance to drop like the blues and stuff.
But the blues are still.
It has an extra stat. Yeah,
Yeah. They're a little bit better, but the item level is still 346, right? All the loot that drops is 346. Right. The only way to get it higher is to upgrade it, right?
Right.
And I don't know where you get the necks and all that stuff, or like, do you get the trinkets and the rings? Do you get that for completing things, and then you can buy them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all cheap. All 5 of them. All 5. Each ring, each trinket, and the neck all have their own achievement. And really, the neck is the only hardest one because you actually have to do normal raids. So do all the normal raids, and then you can get the neck. The rest of them are like heroic dungeons, heroic scenarios,
Yeah.
and other stuff. I don't remember. It was really easy to get those.
Yeah, and that'll kind of fill your kit out, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the beta right now, and I'm trying it. So dragon riding in Druid flight form is awesome. It's very cool. I knew it was going to be, though, because I leveled an Evoker in Remix, and they have it on Evokers already. And that was a lot of fun. Like, a lot of fun. So it's fun for Druids as well. But I'm trying to figure out, they said there was going to be a way to toggle between And
You might have to talk to somebody.
that
because you have to-
seems really
A flight master. Well, no, because everybody has to do that. Either your mounts are dragon riding, or your mounts are either dynamic flying or normal flying. So everybody, because all mounts are going to be dynamic flying. Not all mounts, but most mounts that can fly are going to be dynamic flying or regular flying. You can't just. I don't think you can do individual mounts. I think it's either your riding skill, in your case, your flight form, is one or the other. So you may have to talk to a flight master.
Oh, that is unfortunate. Of course, Blizzard would find a way to ruin things.
It might be. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if it's in the spell book. I don't know.
It's not.
I haven't been in the beta to find out. Thanks for bringing that sore subject back up again.
Oh,
You know, and it's just like, yeah.
There's not. He's the flight master.
Oh, the trainer that's across from him. like,
Flying trainer. I can't talk to her.
Okay, well, then maybe it's wrong. Maybe there's a spell book. Maybe it's not in. It is beta
Yeah.
and stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't know. But
I don't either.
yeah, so being able to farm stuff constantly in the LFR stuff, that's like kind of a good thing. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because then
yeah.
you don't
Actually,
have to worry about
it doesn't really hold. It doesn't really hold you back. That's what I like about Remix. Like you can just zip through it and be done if you want. But lots of people are just like racking up stats and running people through shit and like.
Well-
I am zipping through it right now just to level up all my druids. Took me 2 days to level Moonkin. Took me 3 for the Feral, but that was because
That was only like your second or third one, right?
it was my second one, and I was not as familiar with Feral, so that didn't help.
Yeah. I haven't really had a chance to play much. We thought that Awakened raids were going to be, all of them were going to be awakened this week, like they said, but apparently they're just going to keep them on,
None of them were awakened.
you know,
I know.
they're just keeping them on a rotation until the pre-patch or the pre-expansion
Mm.
patch or whatever, which is dumb. It's like,
And nobody knows what it is, right?
yeah, well, I don't know. So
Like they haven't announced it yet.
I don't think they have, no. But, I mean, so by the time I eventually do get the legendary, it's going to be worthless. Because I'm still trying to get
Nope, I
that.
found it. Switch flight style. 5-second cast. Switch between skywriting and steady flight styles for flying mounts. Mounts that don't support skywriting will be grounded if skywriting is active.
That sucks. They should. It should be like. How interesting would it be if it was like an on-off thing? Like you could turn it and your mount starts falling, and you had like aerial combat. You know how like pilots would just like hit the brakes and just drop and all that stuff, and then hit the engines again and go. Just make it all like
Yeah.
kind of weird shit.
Yeah,
I
that'd
mean, they
be
obviously
kinda cool.
don't have the physics engines for that, but that would be kind of pretty cool. Yeah,
That would be cool.
Glad that I found it.
yeah. Was it in the general section?
It's in the general section of your spell book, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you just flop around. It's fun. The only thing that I kind of miss now is that as of right now, I can hop on a dragon riding mount and speed around, woo woo, and it's super fun. And then when I get close to something that I need to stop at, I can just pop into flight form from it immediately, and like it's an immediate stop for me.
There is a skill for an immediate stop in the dragon riding too.
Yeah, but
Just saying. I mean, just as a thing, it's one of those things that
It's-
it does exist. So
it's not on my.
I know it's not the same
It is not the
because,
same.
but everybody has to make sacrifices. We had to sacrifice Earth and Death Knights. You have to sacrifice switching into flight form from dragon riding. It's Some
I mean,
say-
did you see
some-
how ugly my Earthen was yesterday when I got to make it?
Just because you made an ugly character doesn't mean I would.
Oh, it
I
was
like
so
to think that
ugly.
I have taste.
I'm excited. I want to be one. I really do.
I do not.
I want the dwarf, but like literally for the like for the little horde, not alliance fake. We're all friends.
Well,
Dwarf,
not only that,
like
but they're
that.
taller than dwarves.
Yeah, and they got fucking dick-sized nose.
A big ol'
Oh, big old honker.
big ol' schnozzes.
That's so funny.
That's the thing that sucks about that aerial halt thing, is that it brings you down to the ground. You can't just hover in the air like that. Well, as a bird,
Yeah.
I could do that.
It's
Yeah,
so weird that
again-
they didn't actually do that. Yeah.
You know.
Well,
So
they didn't
it's-
put hovering dynamic flying because hovering is not dynamic.
Sure.
And that's
I'm just saying I'm losing something.
don't
cool.
make a
I mean,
face.
It is dynamic. Dynamic is everything.
I could be a hummingbird. Hummingbirds hover in the air dynamically.
All right, I'm just gonna just continue to just be wrong. That's okay.
You should just continue to be wrong.
It's fine.
No,
They-
I mean, it just,
It's
You know?
you gotta just learn to play a little bit differently than you're used to because
it just
It's
sucks because
changed.
it's taking something away. Like, it would be one thing if they toggled it so it wasn't a 5-second cast to switch between them. Like, just make it immediate so you can just, so then you have another thing and you can keybind and, you know, like,
I mean, yeah, didn't I just say that?
I don't know, did you?
Yeah, we had a discussion about that.
Oh.
But you will be happy to learn, and maybe not, but the Tuft of the Yakfur in Remix is no longer unique.
Really?
Yeah. That was the worst fucking thing ever, is going, I
It
can't
was.
Now
only
you can have a bazillion of them?
Yeah, you can get them all out of your mailbox.
Oh, boy.
I don't know how many you get. Oh, they changed it so now they only have 1 charge instead of 3 charges. But I mean,
Oh.
do people even really use that shit with dragon flying in Remix? It's like, why would you even use the yak? I don't think you can do anything with it that's special to get like an achievement or something like that, or like unreachable areas that you need the yak for, kind of thing.
Right. It's like the meteor jump thing.
The meteor
it's
chip.
stackable. Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I've never used it, and I saw like a fucking tweet or something like that from Blizzard. It's like, make sure you try the meteor chip, and it just shows somebody like cannonballing through the air and stuff like that. I'm like, you're not really
You know what-
selling this.
You know what's
so.
cool though? If you fly and dismount, then you can use it to go up really high, dismount, and go.
Does
I
it,
went from like the Vale of Eternal Blossoms all the way to the Heart of Fear.
damn.
That was cool.
Yeah, that seems interesting.
I don't know,
guess.
man. Remix is one of those things. Like
I like it.
I really do.
you know,
I'm addicted to it. Like I'd rather just sit and play Remix. I'd rather start a new character. I got my Pally to 70, and I will say, as a tank, from 65 to 70, I went from badass to squishy.
there is
I can't.
as you
I
level.
can't even tank now.
Well, I think what it is as you level, the stats that you get from the gems diminishes. So like you
Mhm.
level and your stats go down because
Well, not to mention that like 340, I had to upgrade to get to 346, and I upgraded most of my stuff to 360. And so I'm still not even like
well, I did that too,
all
and
the way
it's
to level 70. Yeah.
and it's just like I don't know. It's still not. I mean, I don't know how far people are going, but like I'm just farming stuff or leveling stuff just to buy the mounts first. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Go
I
and
need to go back
stuff.
and do that. I did buy all the toys. I got almost all the toys bought that I didn't have before. So
Yeah.
that's nice.
yeah, I mean, it's a good way to get some stuff that you couldn't get and get some new things that weren't, like some like the appearances and stuff like that. Like I started leveling a shaman, playing elemental and stuff like that. So I mean, it's just like the only bad thing about trying to use it to learn a class is that I think it can give a false sense of competency and effectiveness with all the tinker
Yeah.
and prismatic gems and all that stuff that like kind of like artificially inflate your stats. So it seems like it's more badass than it actually is. You know what I mean?
And I kind of don't know what you mean, really.
Okay.
Like,
So if you were to make this character and level it up in retail, right?
yeah.
And you get to max level. And let's just say you're out there doing like some soloing content, right? Your character would not be the same as it is in Remix, because in Remix, you got the cloak that's going to give you ginormous stat boosts. You got all those gems. You have the Tinker gems that give you all those abilities, and then you got the meta gem and all that stuff. So your character is going to seem way more badass.
You are my meta gem.
Your meta gem, not your meta gem. But you know what I mean? It's like, so like you can't, those skills don't the ability to play the character doesn't necessarily translate
Yeah.
to retail. If you were like to compare them side by side, it's like,
Okay.
unless you had, like, if you were to take item level to item level, right, the Remix character would be way more badass than a retail character of the same level. And I
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
and
But
go ahead.
but I have to ask though. I mean, don't you like that though?
I'm not okay. No,
All the
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm just gonna say it's
No, no,
not.
no,
It's
no.
not a dislike. Like I don't enjoy doing it. I don't think that using it as a way to learn a class is super effective, because you get a false sense of security for the class behaving a certain way.
Right.
When once you get to retail, it won't be the same, because
Right.
you're not going to have the same gems.
Yeah.
So things are going to.
I don't know. I think I disagree and see it more like training wheels. Because
Because your expectation, you know how they actually work on the live server. If you were just coming in, I think maybe that.
I don't. It's
So-
not. It's not training wheels. It's like giving a kid a fucking bicycle with a motorcycle and a Gatling gun on it, or like with.
I
an
mean, I
engine-
guess
you know what
if the concern is like a new player type of thing, then maybe so.
No,
But
for me, it's just like it makes it almost too
I
easy to
will
play
tell
the
you,
class.
one, I want 3 slot gems on every piece of gear I got.
Yeah.
I fucking love
I-
that so much.
Something you said just kind of struck me. It makes it almost too easy to play a class. I am of the opinion that I think it should be easy to play classes. I think classes should be easy because it promotes fun. When you're sitting there and you're having to learn these complicated raid bosses, right? You don't need to exert extra brain power trying to be like, okay, like thinking of the monk skill, right, where you don't cast the same skills in a row to get a enhanced whatever, right? You get more DPS, right? That is complicated. It's needlessly complicated to get
don't think it's-
extra.
Okay, just
get
because
extra
you.
DPS.
I think what it is that it makes it so that you just sit there and use 1 or 2 skills, and you don't use the toolkit, so you never do it, so you never get better, right? It's like sitting
I
there.
don't do that though. I mean, I used all my toolkit.
I'm just saying though, like in Remix, it makes you overpowered
Sure.
for the class, and at a certain point, you're not learning the class anymore.
I think
because-
it takes a long time to get to that point, though, Jim.
I-
Doesn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
I think it like a lot of the skills that you have, especially from the Tinker Gems, are very much invoked from your abilities. Like you
I
have
know.
to do, and so I really think that because going back and thinking about the monk, I learned a hell of a lot about the monk that I didn't know because I barely played it at all. Even that complicated like combo thing, like once I figured it out and I started blowing shit up, like it actually like it made it fun enough to keep going through that and getting better with it. Even the paladin, like learning to the squishiness was annoying at first, but learning to mitigate and heal myself by casting a combination to buff up my holy power and stuff at certain points and make sure that like somebody didn't have to heal me, that was a big consideration. And so that's a fairly complex
I don't know.
mindset to have to learn. And so
It's been a while.
I can
since I've-
imagine. Don't get me wrong. Like I totally agree with you. Once you get into the insane, I'm not even there yet. But people that go in and just solo bosses as
Oh, there's no
DPS.
end game to speak of that's worth doing anything. That there's no end game in Remix that will allow you to kind of like hone your skills on that character and get used to, you know, on the spot decisions for when do you use this skill versus this skill. You know what I mean? There's no.
I think it is a great replacement for boosts, though.
Oh yeah.
The boosts where you are so fucked over that you don't have a good scenario. Like follower dungeons might be a really good scenario to get used to something and then level up a little bit or gear up a little bit. But boosts have always been with the expansions annoying. You get it, and half the time mine just are parked because
Oh, I have like 3 boosts on my thing. Yeah, I don't use them.
I like the idea of this being a leveling mechanism where you could go into an expansion and stay there, be explosive. We're not zipping through to 70, but it's going quick enough. I will say 60 to 70 went too quick somewhat.
Oh no.
Because I was
60 to 70
Really?
was the worst. Yes.
Oh man, for me, I felt like I was going back and like having to read the talent things and pick 3 every so often because I kept like jumping 1 or 2 levels or whatever it was, and I'm like,
Well, were you doing dungeons a little bit more?
I
didn't do any
probably
dungeons.
mix of
All I did
everything.
was questing. So maybe that's...
If you did questing, I guess it would have been steady in that case.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't do any dungeons. That's probably what the
I
thing was.
quested mostly on the monk, and I cleared like 3 zones, I think. But like on my paladin, I hardly quested at all.
Yeah. All I did was quest. I haven't done a single dungeon.
It's not. I'm not trying to say it's bad, and I'm not trying to say that it is a disservice. I just say that like I feel like you can only learn so much while leveling. Then it's like once you kind of get to the end game stage of things like max level and stuff like that, then you got to kind of like really kind of like feel out the stuff. So I don't know.
I will say like
It's okay.
what I would love to see.
I'm wrong. So
okay.
you
I
wrong?
was just gonna say.
yeah.
I would love to see the way this is set up in the actual game, but not with such sporadic skills or abilities or whatever you want to call them that are like not really sourced from the class itself. Like if you had a paladin, I'd love to see that the helm gym, meta gym thingy, meta gym is like totally related to what a paladin does, holy hammers, all that shit. And same with like the sporadic bursts gyms, tinker gyms that you get, like hailstorm and all that shit, explosive stuff. Like, man, there's got to be something like more, I don't know, holy based, or hammers fly out of you, or
honestly, if they made the gem just instead of it being a specific like fire or ice, it was cast a barrage of your spec specific magic stuff, right? So if you were a frosty cape of frost, if you were an unholy DK, it would be like plague bombs or something like that. If you were blood, it would be like blood rain type stuff. And then you could have the stuff
even if it just did shit like the auto attack thing that you were talking about that one time, quick strikes. Yeah, imagine like a paladin has their fucking hammer wrath thing, and it just throws like 5 of them in a row or something like that. I don't know. Like, I really love these. Have the essence of what trinkets kind of used to be, right? Instead of being stat sticks, they actually just did things, you know. And I really love if our. It's really fun to go through and randomly have mobs be like just obliterated with just some random shit coming out of you. And I don't know, like, I feel like that's, I don't know. I in some cases I guess it's too much, but I don't know. It feels fun for the type of game that WoW really is right now. It's not a hardcore MMO anymore. I don't know if it really ever was, but for the arcade pick it up, drop it type of thing, like,
I mean, vanilla. I wouldn't say hardcore. It was, but I mean, it was a different type because it was a different time.
I
Sure.
mean, it
But,
depends
yeah.
on how you're defining hardcore, right? Hardcore, like time sink.
well, let's not get in the weeds about that. My point is, right now, I think this shit is fun, and I kind of wish they would throw it in the real mix because
Yeah.
it does bring back the vibes of BFA with corruption. And even though it's a pain in the ass, this is like that, but without the pain in the ass.
I mean, it might be something that they're testing, and they'll eventually maybe bring into
The
retail.
boar within.
Yeah, the board. Oh, Jesus Christ!
Or within. Oh no, are we there already? I did hear something interesting, and I don't know if we've talked about this before, and I just like blanked it out or whatever. But they apparently Chris Metzen is going to be in charge of the story now. Like, he is going to be in charge of the story. Like, there's not too many cooks in the kitchen anymore, right? They had a lot of people in there,
They fucking like
and they're going back
fired them all,
to
didn't they?
back to their roots. Well, they fired Christy. I don't know. Did they fire Christy?
They let her
Nolan? They let her
go.
go. I don't want to say fired.
But like that was like last year. But she
Steve
wasn't.
Denuser left on his own, didn't he?
Yeah, Steve Dan user.
Yeah, I don't know how to say his
Poor
name,
Dane
but
user.
he left on his own. As
Well,
far
I mean,
as,
yeah,
you know.
I knew that he got promoted to a certain thing. We had talked about that when that happened, but it's like, I mean, it's fine. It's good to have one person that's driving the boat, you know, and he can say these are the main story points that we're gonna hit. You know, here's little tidbits, you know, that you can like flesh out and stuff like that. Maybe give that kind of like some leeway. But like as far as like the main story for everything overall, I think that these next 3 expansions are gonna be like that. It's gonna have an actual plot that's gonna be thought through.
What did you see the banner for the damn expansion? It looks like a Star Wars, an OG Star Wars banner.
Yeah, I saw some of that stuff.
Like,
and it was that
it
fan
very
made
much does feel like it's going to be. Is it fan made?
War Within beta at MediaX. So and new key art. So no.
No, I don't know. I just know it looks like super
No,
old
yeah,
OG
Blizzard-
Star Wars.
Blizzard released it. So
And I'm like, okay, yeah, like it seems like they are getting into the vibe of like,
sci-fi stuff.
you know, story-driven game. Not sci-fi, but story-driven game.
There, I posted the link so you can go take a look at it.
Missed my.
No, I see your stupid squirt gun shit. I'm trying not to see
Not
it.
looking at it.
Your little.
I want to see what it looks like when I'm
Not
fighting.
looking at it.
You should look at the thing I linked and go look at it. And like it is, yeah, it's a very cool,
Oh my God,
ominous
that's
artwork type
disgusting.
thing. And like, did you watch the trailer?
Can I just say?
Actually, no, I haven't. I haven't.
I linked the
I haven't
trailer to
seen
you
it yet.
guys like when it came out like a couple days ago, like the
I
new
have not watched it.
Okay.
Shadow and
I
Fury.
just got done working for like 12 hours a day. So
That's fine. You don't have to watch it
Can-
now, but
can I
it's pretty good.
Can I just say, welcome to the world where we're never gonna have to not be in a beta again, because they're clearly going to be doing the play beta, and
the beta.
the beta, yes. So you know that's a thing. So that will be,
Back in the beta.
yeah. So we're never gonna complain about not being in the beta again,
I mean,
because
we will have three.
I mean,
they're
3
always
days
going to give people access. They're
to
always
level.
going to give that, you know what I mean? Because why would they not?
Oh, we do have early access for leveling, don't we?
Yeah, 3 days.
That's hilarious. That's so weird and gross.
I mean, I don't think it's necessary,
I don't think so either.
but like, and again, I remember like Ian's like thought process behind it, like when he explained it. It's like we don't want to put all these. It's like they didn't want to put like some of like the in-game stuff like at a higher pay level. It's like, so they wanted to find something that was comparable, and I guess they came across it. It's like it's just 3 days of leveling. It's by the time the seasons start, everybody would have enough time to be at like the same base level for like the mythics and all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't think that it's that. I mean, yes, it's a big deal for like the world first people,
There's nothing they can do.
right? And
Except
it's a
level
big
multiple
deal.
characters.
It's a big deal for the people who are doing like the world first race stuff, right? But that again is not something that Blizzard really concerns themselves with because it's not a sanctioned event. It's a,
The people that do that stuff and get like the world first, not like 80 and all that stuff,
Yeah.
will get the early access regardless, right?
Sure.
So they'll be there. So that's not going to be a problem.
Yeah,
and it's not like you said, it's not even a
know.
thing.
I
right.
know. It's just,
And
know.
the people that do like world first rating and stuff like that, don't get
Like me.
any edge up. Yes, Brian is like on the leaderboards for like several other world firsts.
I can't even be bothered to log in half the time. Oh.
It's like
Sorry.
whatever. It's fine. Yeah. I don't know. It just. I think it's fine. It's a way for them to make money, and God knows, don't even get me started on corporations and money, right?
Okay, moving on.
but
I mean, I like money too, so I don't know.
yeah, I
kinda
like
get it.
money. I just there's liking money, and then there's just having a ridiculous amount of money that you're never going to be able to spend, right? Which is never going to happen
Primey.
to me. But anyway, it's it just, I don't know. It's fine. It doesn't ping my, terrible meter, which, plenty of stuff does. So
Again, the 3-day early access doesn't give you benefit. It doesn't give you access to anything. Like you can't be like super high geared or anything like that. You don't have access to mythics or raids or anything like that before anybody else does. So, and like by the time that stuff comes out, those 3 days will have meant nothing. You know what I mean? It's just, other than maybe either finding a bunch of bugged quests for the people that don't have it, so you're kind of helping
Yeah.
pave the way, or being able to do stuff in maybe a less buggy thing, like maybe it won't be as overpopulated,
I don't know.
because maybe it won't be like the Zeppelin for Dragonflight on the Horde side, where the Zeppelin never
Mhm,
showed up,
yeah.
or if you got on it, it crashed and killed you.
Ah, the good old days.
Good old days. That wasn't even that long ago.
It was Dragonflight.
I know. That kind of shit happens at every fucking launch. It'll be great to see what
So
happens.
awesome.
And they were like,
They're
they were
gonna
like,
get it right one day, and it's gonna ruin everything, probably.
everybody's gonna be like, "What's going on? Is it
Yeah.
working? Wait, what?"
Why is this working so well?
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap things up here. Thanks everybody for listening. You can check us out at our website, serverrestartin.com. Get all your latest news there. See us on Facebook or on X or whatever. At server_restart. At server restart in. Yeah, catch you guys next week maybe. Bye.
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 We fight day after day.